Welcome back, everybody, to Weather Animations. Today, we investigate the 2009 Atlantic hurricane season, where 11 tropical depressions formed, 9 of which became tropical storms, 3 of those hurricanes, and 2 of those hurricanes reached major hurricane status. The 2009 Atlantic hurricane season was rather light on both fatalities and damages, thankfully, with only 9 fatalities occurring because of this hurricane season and just shy of $58 million worth of damages. So please stay tuned and watch as this seemingly uneventful Atlantic hurricane season unfolds from beginning to end. We begin this Atlantic hurricane season with Tropical Depression 1, which, in the naming, it didn't do much. Maximum winds only 35 miles an hour. It did form off the southeast coast and just basically stayed offshore, bringing some unpleasant weather to the coastline itself. After which we have Tropical Storm Anna. Anna was much later on in the season than our first tropical depression, and it formed on August 11th. The maximum wind speed here was just barely tropical storm status, as we see there in that green. And, well, it didn't do much from there. It just basically fell apart and tracked across the tropical waters of the Atlantic. After which we have our first hurricane and major hurricane of the season, Hurricane Bill. Bill formed on the 15th of August, just a couple days after Anna, and the maximum wind speed was 130 miles an hour, with a minimum central pressure of 943 millibars. As we can see, Bill is making a path to the north of the Caribbean islands there, and will continue to make a curve towards the north and northeast through its path there. It made a kind of close path to Bermuda, probably just heavy waves from the storm there, and then there's our passes to Nova Scotia and Newfoundland before accelerating off towards Great Britain. After we have Tropical Storm Claudette, which was a very short-lived storm, formed off the western coast of Florida and made landfall in the Panhandle there. Afterwards, Tropical Storm Danny. Danny again didn't do too much. Maximum wind speed 60 miles an hour. Danny basically stayed out at sea. And after which was Tropical Storm Erica. Erica, another short-lived storm, only 50 mile an hour maximum wind speed. We could see the Lesser Antilles getting hit there and then just basically falling apart afterwards. After which we have our next hurricane and major hurricane of the season, Hurricane Fred. Fred formed on the 7th of September, and its maximum wind speed was 120 miles an hour. It's a very short-lived major hurricane, as we see in the red color there. And the minimum central pressure was 958 millibars. From here on, Fred is not going to do much of anything. It's basically going to just stay with weak wind speeds around 30 miles an hour. As we could see there, 25 knots. Minimum central pressure just barely below what's considered average sea level pressure, and not much more to say there. If you like this content, I just want to let you know you could subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you get notified of the next videos that come out, etc. All right, next up, Tropical Depression 8, short-lived again, just only a day. Again, Tropical Depression, not much to speak of there. After which we have Tropical Storm Grace. Where did Grace form? Well, in the northern parts of the Atlantic. On October 4th, we could see there it's at about 40 degrees north and now heading south. And, well, not too much to speak of here. It does make a loop, makes impact of those islands there. And here comes the loop in just a short little while here. We can see how small that wind field is, just barely noticeable around the icon there. And now we're finally speeding off towards the north and west, or north and east rather, into, well, Europe yet again. Next up, we have Tropical Storm Henry. Henry formed just east of the Antilles Islands there and, well, was just a tropical storm. Maximum wind speeds were only 50 miles an hour, and for the most part, it stayed north of any land mass there. However, it did bring some unpleasant weather towards the end of its track there to the island of Hispaniola. Coming in with our final storm of the season in the beginning of November, which is a rather late season storm, but we could see there it formed in the Caribbean, the very southwestern Caribbean there, made an landfall as a Category 1 hurricane, re-emerged into the Caribbean where it, re-intensified into, a Category 2 storm for a short while with maximum wind speeds just shy of major hurricane status at 105 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure here was 975 millibars. It did make landfall in the United States, but was just as a weaker storm. All right, that's all for this hurricane season. Again, very short hurricane season in terms of number of storms. And if you like this content, I suggest that you subscribe to the channel because we got plenty more of these coming out in the future. And hit the notification bell, comment anything that you disliked about this animation and voiceover here, and I'll be happy to make any changes for you guys. So please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time on Weather Animations.